Today on Studio G, Heather Fairberger gives us a local look at the hot topic of marriage equality.
We also have Bree Bradley filling us in on the world of racing on Motorsports Minutes.
And finally, Carl Winder will be sitting down with current Miss Nevada Randy Sundquist. All this and more coming at you right now on Studio G. Good afternoon and welcome to Studio G. I'm Eddie Vargas.
And I'm Donald Woods.
After a vehicle accident yesterday afternoon, a 6-year-old was rushed to University Medical Center. The accident was reported at 3 p.m. on the corner of Durango Drive and Blue Diamond Road. Michael Gant, 52, was pulling out of his driveway when his granddaughter grabbed onto his 2006 Dodge Magnum. The little girl was pulled under the car and dragged for about 40 feet before Grant realized what happened. The 6-year-old died shortly en route to the medical center. This accident marks the 35th traffic-related fatality in Metro's jurisdiction in 2013. In Las Vegas and other cities around the nation, marriage equality is still a hot-button issue. Many are fighting back by displaying their opinions on social media websites. Reporter Heather Fairberger has the story.
The Human Rights Campaign used social media as a platform to spread their message in support of same-sex marriage. Supporters were encouraged to post pictures of a pink-on-red equal sign.
It kind of turned into this giant trend where everybody was changing their profile picture and they didn't necessarily know why.
I changed it because a lot of people were doing it. I noticed it, and I am really passionate about the issue. I stay up to date on it.
Not all supporters actually felt the need to display the picture.
I've supported marriage equality this entire time. I didn't really feel a need to change my profile picture.
The campaign was done in response to the Supreme Court's hearing of arguments for Prop 8 and the Defense of Marriage Act, which could be issued a ruling in June.
I was kind of suggesting that, my friends that changed their profile picture, why don't you keep it until June? Why don't you just, keep it not as the trendy thing to do, but why don't you do it continuously? So a few of my friends actually decided to keep their profile pictures until June when the Supreme Court actually rules on it.
I think it's good to bring it to the attention of the public, and I think young people are really overwhelmingly for supporting marriage equality, which is wonderful.
For Studio G, I'm Heather Fairberger.
Well, I think it's a great idea what they're doing. I mean, what do you feel?
I don't know. To be honest, I think it's a whole lot stronger to go out and physically say something or to physically act and protest than it is just to simply post a picture. Well, just like the equal signs on Facebook are used to show opinions, a new student-made movie asks the audience to wake up and acknowledge what is happening around them. I went over spring break to find out the details.
Last Wednesday, over spring break, in the Lee Barrick Museum, a free movie screening was shown of the new short film, Symbol.
I have always been fascinated by signs and patterns. They stood out to me everywhere.
Well, pretty much the character is obsessed with patterns and symbols, and he sees them everywhere, even if they're not there. Through societal pressure, decides that he's had enough and wants to get out of it.
In Symbol, the main character speaks to the audience in persuasion to wake up to their surroundings and environments in the world we live in to see the true symbols and signs of what's happening.
Well, I thought I fit the role. What he was looking for. I just felt like I agreed with a lot of what the character thought and felt to an extent. Characters like this who are driven to basically insanity by, there's different elements. There's the psychiatric drugs, and then there's just society being divided. He's obsessed with symbols, but I'm not obsessed with symbols, but I think there's brainwashing going on, and people, kind of just fall for this, just how they want us to think.
After the screening, a brief discussion was held, and viewers got the opportunity to share their insights of the film, as well as get to speak one-on-one with the director and main actor.
Beautiful film. I liked it. I think that there's a lot buried in the subtext. I think it's one of those movies that you have to go back and keep watching. You know, there's a lot of art films that come out, but art films that are legitimately beautiful, I think are really hard to find. And this is definitely an art film that the imagery itself sort of carries you along through the story, so you don't get bored with it, you know, like a typical art film will if you can't appreciate them or if you don't appreciate them. But certainly, I thought it was good. I thought it was another winner.
For Studio G, I'm Donald Woods.
You know, a lot of short films like Symbol are made and screened year-round by UNLV student filmmakers. The film department will be holding their annual Spring Flicks 2013 screening on April the 26th through the 28th. There you can see the latest films student filmmakers have created.
After serving our country, many veterans now need our help. Reporter Maria Landeros has more.
Hundreds of United States veterans are leaving war zones and coming home to face a new battle, staying off the streets. During the 10th annual Veterans Stand Down event, over 100 service providers and volunteers showed their appreciation for homeless veterans in Las Vegas.
We've had a little over 500 veterans come through our door and seeking services. We've had a few of them housed, and we've even had some get employment right on the spot. We have places for them to get interviews, showers, haircuts, get their suit from Goodwill. Let's get these guys housed tonight. Not next week, but tonight.
U.S. Vets is a nonprofit organization that provides support to veterans and their families through counseling, housing, and career development. Their goal is to help these men and women get back on their feet.
People sometimes forget to stop and take a moment to just say, okay, you're a fellow human being, let me talk to you, figure out how I can help. Some of the veterans they're so polite and just very nice, kind people, and they're very grateful for what's happening today to Goodwill and everybody that's involved in the stand down.
U.S. Vets hopes others remember that these men and women fought for our country. Regardless of their current situation, anyone can always lend a hand.
I don't think anybody really wants to live on the street. If you can help out a vet, remember that they did do this for you, for the country. I think it's just something that is missing in our society, that we kind of forget about individuals that have given and try to help the country grow. So give them what they really deserve.
Despite of the many struggles, some veterans may have just found the resources they needed for a new beginning.
It's great. I'm loving it. You know, got some things taken care of legally. Actually, they threw it out.
For Studio G, I'm Maria Landeros.
For more information on how to support or volunteer with U.S. Vets, visit www.usvetsinc.org.
Hillary Clinton stepped out today to make one of her first public appearances since leaving the State Department. She has left in order to speak at different events. She is expected to attend an event that supports women's leaders around the world. Her first paid speaking gig is reportedly slated for April the 24th at the National Multi-Housing Council in Dallas.
When we return from the break, Justin Fuller will give us a local look at our weekly weather forecast.
And Stephen Marsh is here with your sports. Studio G will be right back.
Hello, I'm Police Officer Paul Velez with the UNLV Police Department. What you just saw was an example of how quickly your property can be stolen here on campus. On campus, our #1 reported crime is unattended property theft. Here's some helpful tips. Always keep your property secure and on your person, and if you need to leave your property behind, ask somebody to help you and to watch your stuff while you're gone. And also, be aware of your surroundings and who's around you. And please help us keep the campus as safe as possible. Thank you.
Afternoon, Rebels. Let's take a look outside. As you can see, it is a nice 76 degrees. I would say you can go outside by the pool and have yourself a nice glass of lemonade. The record for today was set in 1961 at 91 degrees. Fun fact, happy birthday Eddie Murphy. He was born on this day. As you see around the state, it is 71 degrees. in Arizona, 70 degrees in St. George, 62 in Tonopah, and 54 degrees in Lake Tahoe. Around the nation, it's 81 degrees in Miami, 45 degrees in New York, 57 degrees in Seattle, 65 in Boise, and 66 in Houston. As you can see around the nation, it's like pretty dry in this area. It looks like a swarm of bees down here. Towards the East Coast, it's still dry up here, kind of, like right here. And let me get out the way. The 7-day forecast, you'll see it's going to be in the low 80s for the most part, high 70s, but mostly it's going to be sunny and very beautiful throughout the week. That's all the weather that I have for you today. We're now going to send it over to Stephen Marsh for sports. Stephen?
Thanks, Justin, very much. Time for some high-energized sports action. We start off on the links where the UNLV women's golf team finished 5th in the SDSU Farms Invitational down in San Diego, California. Rebel sophomore Dana Finkelstein finished best among fellow Rebel golfers at 8th with a final round of 2 over 74 to finish at 7 over 223. USC were the tournament champions. They finished the last round even and overall 11th overall, 875. That's 21 strokes ahead of runner-up Arizona. Well, yesterday, UCLA introduced the next guy who is going to lead their basketball team. Steve Alford, the former University of New Mexico coach, has had quite the success here in the Mountain West during his 6-year tenure there. Most recently, of course, winning back-to-back conference titles for the regular season and the tournament. And although the decision was hard for Alford, past success in athletics was just too good to pass up.
When you're 29-6 and you've won back-to-back conference and tournament championships and you return your entire starting 5, that's a difficult thing to leave. And I think the thing I'm most blessed with is I had the opportunity there for 6 years to build that. And then when a place like UCLA calls, when you think of excellence and when you think of college basketball at its pinnacle, it's UCLA basketball.
Now, Alford's replacement at New Mexico will be longtime assistant Craig Neal and will be introduced as the new head coach in a press conference today. Meanwhile, across town at USC, their basketball program has named their new coach. It's a man behind this year's biggest story in the NCAA tourney. That man is Andy Enfield of Florida Gulf Coast, who made history as the first team seeded 15th to advance to the Sweet 16 before getting knocked out by Florida. And in his 2 seasons with FGCU, he went 41-28.
Can you dig it?
And this was over in the pros. It was a big night at Staples Center. Shaq's jersey number 34 was retired in the rafters to cement his Lakers legacy and join Lakers legends such as Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Magic Johnson. Shaq played 19 seasons in the NBA. 8 of them were with the Lakers, and he won, of course, 3 of his 4 NBA championships there as well. As for the game itself, Dwight Howard led all scorers with 24 points, and Kobe Bryant finished with a triple-double, 23 points, 11 assists, and 11 rebounds as the Lakers won 101-81 over the Mavs and moved back into a tie with Utah for the 8th spot, which is, of course, the Jazz, though, own the tiebreaker over L.A. One note in Major League Baseball, Texas Rangers pitcher Yu Darvish took a perfect game into the 9th inning and was 1 out away until Marvin Gonzalez of the Astros was able to register a hit to break up the no-no and the perfect game. Darvish finished 8 2/3 innings, only allowing 1 hit and striking out 14 as the Rangers won 7-0. And one last quick note in the NHL, the Penguins' 15-game win streak was snapped last night as they lost at home to the Buffalo Sabres 4-1. That streak will go down as the 2nd longest in NHL history. Well, that's the latest from me with sports, but now for all you motorsports fans, here's Bree Bradley with another edition of Motorsports Minutes.
Good afternoon, fellow motorheads, and welcome to this week's edition of Motorsports Minutes. I'm Bree Bradley. Over spring break, I was given the opportunity to check out one of America's greatest off-road races. This race not only historical to the sport, but also to the city of Las Vegas as well. Let's check out the Mint 400. Hey, this is Bree Bradley. I'm here at Fremont East for the 2013 Mint 400. Let's take a describe the Mint 400.
Mint 400 is the most epic historical race. Mint 400 is a tough race. It's all about endurance. It's fun, excitement, adrenaline pure.
Mint 400 has been one of the roughest, toughest off-road races since the beginning of our time, basically.
Rocky, dusty, silty, whooped out.
Mint 400 is, off-road racing. It's just the most brutal desert racing there is.
It is the most historical race in off-road racing.
It's my favorite race.
Can you compare for me how it was then and how it is now?
Well, it's an entirely different format. In our day, we had 538 entries, for example. We had a whole month of pre-running. We had 100,000 spectators out there. Unfortunately, the BLM and the Forest Service and the other legislative bodies, they restricted spectators from going out on the course. And now you have to have designated spectator areas. Now, is that good or bad? It's just different.
31 seconds behind.
Okay.
CJ started in the top 10. No, CJ. We just got a call on the radio. Mark was changing a flat tire, and when he pulled up back on the track, he got hit by a trophy truck that was coming at over 100 miles an hour. Got a front flat, didn't have another spare, so he came back to our pit, changed both tires, now he's back on his way.
I just don't work in my own car. Yeah. All right, we're out here pitting for 1590. Kevin Thompson. He tore a CV boot. Looks like on the second lap. He was all dried up. Put a spare on real fast. He's currently about 14th on the road. We're hoping for a good finish, and we're just gonna, it's the Mint 400. You gotta just wait and make it happen.
It's wonderful that they resurrected it and then it's come back to its former luster. That I like. And I'm proud of the fact that the community has embraced the race as it did in the past.
The 400-mile race included nearly 160 entries. Of those entries, 53 participants were unable to finish, and many others simply timed out. Bryce Menzies finished the race with an overall fastest time of 6 hours and 20 minutes. But others who faced technical troubles finished in 11 hours and 42 minutes. That's quite a long time in a race car. Congratulations to all those who did finish and even those who participated in the race. The 2013 Mint 400 was one to go down in the record books. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Motorsports Minutes. After the break, our very own Carl Winder will sit down with Miss Nevada, Randy Sundquist. So don't touch that keyboard. Studio G will be right back.
Welcome to the Art Department at UNLV, where students can express their creative side. You can also check out the current exhibits at the Grant Hall Gallery, Jesse Metcalf Gallery, and Donna Beam Gallery of Fine Art, featuring recent artwork displays by students, staff, and local artists. Whether your forte is taking photos, painting a picture, or carving a sculpture, make sure to check out the UNLV Art Department located in the Alta Ham Fine Arts Building.
I'd like to thank the members of the UNLV community that have started something.
I became a big sister to make an impact in a child's life.
I became a big brother to get involved in my community.
4 hours a month, you can make a big difference in the life of a child.
I became a big sister because I wanted to start something.
Contact Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southern Nevada and start something today.
Hello and welcome back from the break. I'm Carl Winder, and today I'm joined by Miss Nevada, Randy Sundquist. Miss Sundquist, thank you for joining us today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Alrighty, and you're Miss Nevada, and right now you're a spokesperson for Flip the Script.
Right.
That's bullying. Just why this?
I chose this as my platform for my own personal experience. I was both verbally and physically abused growing up, and so when I started competing in the Miss America organization, each young woman is encouraged to choose a platform. And so through my involvement and the more that I kind of saw the need for this awareness to be raised, I also ran into Flip the Script, and I've been with them since inception. And it's just been so wonderful to be able to share my story and use my platform to help benefit them and kind of, work collectively on the same goal.
And how have you been helping out the community to prevent bullying from happening?
Well, I think the biggest thing is the awareness. And I remember when I was going through it, I felt so alone and like nobody could understand what I was going through. And so for me, one of the biggest things that I like to do is to provide that level of support to kids. I don't have the answers on how to prevent bullying, and quite frankly, I don't think that this is a one-size-fits-all problem. It's so large and there's so many different elements to it. And so the one thing that I know that I can do is be supportive and be understanding and be a person that these kids feel like they can talk to.
Right. And was there just one personal story where you just helped out one specific person and just came back and said thank you very much for
Yeah, and that's kind of, those are kind of the moments that remind me of why I've continued to compete. And there's this one kid that I've met through Flip the Script actually, and he came out, a couple years ago to his family, and he had a really hard time with that because he was bullied. And so he sat next to me on a panel. We did a live broadcast throughout the state of Nevada where we had a student panel, and he sat next to me. And I remember him looking over during the interview and saying, I want to be like her and I want to share my story to help others. And it's just like so amazing that my story has impacted kids like that, and he's one that I definitely won't ever forget.
I gotcha. And now just going back to the Miss Nevada crown, just what made you go into pageantry?
Well, I initially started competing for the scholarship dollars. Miss America is the largest provider of scholarships for young women, awarding over $45 million each year. And so that sparked my interest because I needed a way to pay for my undergraduate degree. And I grew up dancing, and so the onstage elements of pageantry kind of came natural to me, and I just got bit by the pageant bug. I wanted to continue, being on stage, and I had just great opportunities to meet different people, work in the community, and then it became, kind of realistic, hit me one day that I could be Miss Nevada. And so I paid my way through my undergrad here at UNLV actually, and looking to go into my master's here within the next couple of years.
Oh, very nice. And right before you were Miss Nevada, you had other titles?
Yes, so in the Miss America organization, you have to have a local title before you can compete for your state title. So I was Miss Greater Las Vegas 2010, and that was actually when I started coming to school here at UNLV, and then was Miss Summerlin and Miss Southern Counties. And my first 2 years at Miss Nevada, I was third runner-up, and then ended up winning my third time. So third time's a charm.
Yes. And is the training gruesome just to become ready for these pageants? I mean, in between doing school and doing work? And
I mean, it's definitely a learning process. I've had probably more growth this year than my entire life combined, because you're pushed in all facets of life, mentally, physically, emotionally. You're pushed to better yourself, to speak in front of people, to take a personal issue and make it the forefront of your year. And so, I mean, it's been challenging, but so rewarding.
All right. And just what was that feeling like being crowned Miss Nevada?
Oh man, it was so good. Just kind of surreal, because I worked and I prepared as best as I could, and it felt right. And I knew that if I was going to be Miss Nevada, it was going to be this year. And so my interview went great. All my on-stage elements were fantastic, and I just felt a peace over me. And when they called my name, it's just one of those moments where you're like, oh my gosh, I did it, and praise God, because it's definitely, been, I think his plan for me, because this was never a goal of mine. So it was so exciting and so surreal, and it's still sometimes it's funny to me that I'm Miss Nevada, but it's definitely been incredible.
And with that Miss Nevada crown, that's where the real work started, right? Just right after you were crowned, you just helped out the community, and just everything is not paid for, right?
Right. Well, I've been working in the community since I began competing. So even at the local level, I was promoting my platform of anti-bullying, and being the state title holder, you you begin to take on more duties. So I'm the state spokesperson for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Miss America is the national ambassador. And so I'm just kind of in schools, I'm in the hospitals, raising money for different charities. And I mean, really, if someone wants me at their event, I can come and be supportive. And that's, one of the goals is mine. So, it's the community service started before I was Miss Nevada.
And now you're going to have, and now in 2013, I mean, the reign's going to be coming to an end.
I'm expiring so soon.
What are you going to be doing afterwards?
Well, I'd like to continue my advocacy and some of my speaking engagements just because it's been so prevalent in my life and it's such a big part of who I am. And this organization has pushed me to overcome an obstacle in my life. And so I'd like to continue that as well as pursue my master's.
All right, Randy, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And we are going to be taking a short break, and Studio G will be right back.
Where is the moment we need it the most? You kick up the leaves and the magic is lost. Tell me your blue skies fade to gray. Tell me your passion's gone away, and I don't need no carrying on. You're standing in line just to hit a new low. You're faking a smile with the coffee to go. And tell me your life's been way offline. You fall into pieces every time, and I don't need no carrying on, 'cause you had a bad day.
Welcome back from the break. Brenda Gomez will now catch us up with our entertainment news on this week's segment of Did You Hear? Brenda?
Hello everyone, I'm Brenda Gomez and welcome to this week's edition of Did You Hear? Kim Kardashian needs to watch out because actress Lindsay Lohan is constantly in the entertainment news. It's official, pregnant, is what Lindsay Lohan posted on her Twitter account this past Monday as an April Fool's joke. As her followers saw the news, it was retweeted more than 9,000 times within an hour. While some didn't believe the actress, other fans did. She then wrote, "April Fools, where's everyone's sense of humor?" If you missed her tweet, it's too late because she deleted it. Considering all the trouble she's been in, parents must be thankful that it was all a joke.
Angelina Jolie is making use of her fashion sense.
Vegetarian and now a businesswoman, Angelina Jolie is launching her very own jewelry line called The Style of Jolie. The 37-year-old actress is launching the line in order to help the Education Partnership for Children in Conflict by donating sales. Her act of kindness will benefit an all-girls school in Afghanistan. It seems as though Michael Jackson can't rest in peace. The Jackson filed a wrongful death suit against AEG Live. The trial began yesterday. According to the Jackson family, the company is liable for his death because they hired former doctor Conrad Murray, who took Jackson's life away. The company's lawyer states that it was the singer himself who hired Murray. AEG Live may be obligated to pay up to billions of dollars if they are found guilty. The trial could take up to several months and 2 of his children may have to testify. For all you Glee fans, it's time to say goodbye to Finn Hudson as he will no longer make an appearance on the final 2 episodes of the season. Corey Monteith voluntarily decided to check himself into a substance abuse treatment facility. The 30-year-old actor has been battling drug addiction since he was 13. In an interview with Parade magazine back in 2011, he confessed that his first visit to rehab was at the age of 19 after battling with his addiction for several years. Well, that is all the entertainment news I have for you. Now let's send it back to the news desk.
Thank you, Brenda, and that's all the news that we have for you today. I'm Donald Woods.
And I'm Eddie Vargas. Before we leave you, we have one last video of a sea lion named Ronan hitting the dance floor. Have a great day, Rebels.